How is my fake laugh, everybody? Because we go again, and this time it's about the Europa League final, and more specifically, if I went out of my way to jinx Arsenal, because as you know, I picked them to win. But let's be honest, I didn't need to jinx them. They were crap right from the opening whistle, which prompted my good pal and diehard Arsenal supporter Hugh Wizzy to basically yell at them for 30 minutes straight on a video he posted right after the final was over. Now, personally, I was hoping for tears, but apparently he was too angry to cry this time. Anyway, let's see what I said for some select parts from my preview. Roll the clips. I think we can make the argument, especially since Chelsea and Arsenal were only separated by 2 points in the Premier League table after 38 games this season, that both of these clubs have an equal chance in taking home the trophy for Europe's second biggest competition. For example, I can't believe that all of you let me get away with saying that they had an equal chance. We all knew deep down that they didn't have an equal chance. With Chelsea, I actually thought they played better in the Europa League this season than they did at any point in the league because their manager / goalkeeper Kepa finally took some risk with his lineup, assuming you think playing younger players in Olivier Giroud is a risk, when telling manager Maurizio Sarri who to start. I should have just ended the preview there because Chelsea were better in the Europa League and they proved it by not losing one game in this competition all season, which is pretty remarkable. Also, sidebar, is Sarri going to leave so Kepa can take over full time? I'm just doubling down on a pretty bad joke. Or is Maxi Allegri leaving Juventus to take over at Chelsea until Frank Lampard is ready, while Sarri leaves Chelsea to take over at Juve, which will most likely help him become the most hated man in Napoli? That'll be crazy. That's how it goes down. Anyway, but we could argue Arsenal raised their game for it too. Not that that was too surprising, given that their manager is a specialist, not in failure, but in winning Europa League trophies, which he did to great effect with Sevilla, winning 3 straight from 2014 to 2016. Yeah, well, it looks like specializing in failure just comes with the managerial job for Arsenal these days. And am I being too harsh? I feel like I'm being a little bit too harsh. Well, on one side of things. On the other side, never!
Already dead.
Anyway, focusing on the game at hand and with the expectation that everyone is going to play well for the Blues, including Eden Hazard, in what will most likely be his last game for the club before he moves on to Real Madrid. Tier. Yes, I nailed this because Hazard did have a terrific game, scoring 2 goals and adding an assist in Chelsea's 4-1 win, which, from a journalistic point of view, I used to write for my school newspaper when I was in high school. You gotta put the most important information at the top. And I didn't say the scoreline. Chelsea won 4-1. So if you're just seeing this right now and you didn't know the scoreline, I apologize. Probably should have added spoiler alert to the title, but I just assume that you know the score and that Arsenal are suffering because they weren't very good. But whatever, as I was saying, this battle for me is gonna be won or lost with how well Chelsea's back 4 deal with the dynamic movement of Arsenal's front 3 of Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Mesut. Which surprisingly Chelsea won because I expected a whole lot more from Aubameyang and Lacazette, but not necessarily Mesut, since he does disappear from time to time in big games.
And small games.
Any size games, really, so I think it might be time for him to move on. My favorite battle in this match has to be the former Gunners' current Blues striker, Giroud, trying to beat former Blues goalkeeper, current Gunners goalkeeper, Petr Cech. I know, that's a tongue twister, who, if you didn't know, is hanging up his soft helmet to retire at the end of the season, so these two trying to stick it to their former clubs should make for some good entertainment. Which, with everything done and dusted, Giroud easily won with Chelsea's opening goal, and he had a tasty assist to Eden Hazard for the last goal, which was the exclamation point on Chelsea's second half dominance. Now, as for Cech, well, I think giving up 4 goals in a 23-minute span, no matter what the defenders are doing in front of you, though I guess it does matter a smidge what they're doing in front of you. But still, I think it speaks for itself, which unfortunately is a really shitty way to end a very accomplished career. But as we've learned, only a select few players in the history of the sport, and probably all of sports, get to end their careers with a Hollywood movie ending. You know what I'm talking about? Where they win the championship in their last ever game and they ride off on the shoulders of their teammates with rainbows and unicorns flying by and everyone loving them and marrying the girl of your dreams right after. And you guys know what I'm trying to say. I got sidetracked, okay? Because that's what I wanted for the end of my career, but it didn't happen. Because I got a concussion that wouldn't go away for months and months and months, so I had to end it. Feels bad, man. Anyway, here's why I think Arsenal are going to win. They have to. because it's more important for them to do so. A win here gets them into the Champions League, whereas Chelsea are already in it next season. And qualifying for the Champions League is of the utmost importance because it's hard to attract top talent to want to come and play for you if you're not in Europe's biggest competition. And Arsenal need to attract top talent if they want to seriously compete for winning the league in the near future. I mean, clearly this wasn't enough motivation. I don't understand. What other motivation do you need to try to win a big European final? And if you throw in the fact that the Blues haven't really beaten anyone of consequence throughout this competition this season, and let me list the names, like PAOK Thessaloniki, I think I said that right, and Vidi, and Bate Borisov, and Malmo, and Dynamo Kiev, and Slavia Prague, and an Eintracht Frankfurt team that was in its worst form of the season? Yeah, I just don't know. Whereas Arsenal just took down a very good Napoli side with 2 clean sheets and then put 7 goals past the newly minted Copa del Rey winners Valencia over 2 legs. I kind of like Arsenal's chances too. Stop lying to yourself, which means I got Arsenal doing the business in this final unless Unai Emery inexplicably starts Mustafi. You might as well have started Mustafi. It wouldn't have gotten any worse. Then we're winning it, baby. Exactly. I nailed it. End the preview. Stop it right here. Now, as I promised, I just need to name the smartest people I know before this ends because they picked the right scoreline. So let's do that. Temps FC and Nick Zaris. And that was it. Out of 1,000 plus comments, you guys are just as bad at predicting as I am. Unless you're trying to jinx somebody. Also, there are a lot of deluded Arsenal fans out there. And I love you guys. Also, fine. I meant to do this. You know what? Let's just see what I really said at the end of my preview. So I got Arsenal getting the big victory and pulling this out 3-2. Jinx confirmed. Also, Arsenal fans, I cannot wait for my Newcastle and our new oil money to finish higher than you next season. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, probably not next season. It's gonna take us at least a season to get it together. But after that, we're gonna finish above you. That is a promise. That is a guarantee. That is a stamp. I'll bet you whatever. Okay, maybe not whatever, but I'll bet you something. Okay, I'm done. Later.